So when Matt told me the theme of tonight was perspective is everything, the first thing that came in my head was lying. For whatever reason, the word lying just flashed in my brain. And I thought about that for a little while, and I think maybe it's because when you tell a lie convincingly enough, the person who receives that lie will speak, from their perspective, it'll be the truth. All right, so I was like, this is an interesting idea, so let's go down this rabbit hole. And I've been lying to myself for years, all right? So when I was born, I got a double whammy of ADD and dyslexia. Okay, so they're both, I guess, learning difficulties. ADD is more of a bit hyperactive, and dyslexia kind of affects ways you perceive things, and a lot of people think people with dyslexia are stupid or something like that. That's not true at all. It's more to do with how your brain interprets the world, right? So my dyslexia, how it presents itself is, if I see something I've never seen before, I will make my own definition of that thing based off the history of what I've learned from my life. Okay, so I'll bring two things together and be like, that's what that must mean, even if it's completely wrong. Okay, so I guess two good examples of that would be the word expat. We all know what expat is. So an expat is someone who lives in a country that they weren't born in, or they're not native to. Yeah, I only found that out 3 weeks ago. My whole life, I thought an expat meant they were some sort of ex-vet in the army. You know what I mean? They're an ex-army person. Because, to me, expat and vet kind of came together and similar. So it sounded very military. So in my brain, I'm like, oh, an expat is just a military person. And I found this out I was talking to my friend, another comedian called Dusty Rich, about 3 weeks ago, and he's from South Africa, and he was talking about how he's an expat, and he's about my age. I went, oh, you're ex-military? And he looked at me like, what are you talking about? And I went, yeah, and I had a little laugh, and then I googled expat. I went, oh shit, I was wrong. The other one, I think, obviously when Facebook came in and all that sort of stuff, messaging, you probably heard the term PM me. Yeah? Just PM me. Little innocent term there. It means personal message. I thought it meant message me after dark. That's what I thought it meant. Because my brain went AM, PM, that's what it meant. So a lot of people were like, why haven't you messaged me yet? I'm like, it's not dark. And they're like, what are you talking about? Anyway, so this is how my brain works. So let's go down this kind of rabbit hole of lying. So I want to talk about a time where I nearly fell, and I kind of did actually, for one of the great lies. All right. So this happened in 2017, and I had just bought a brand new laptop. Okay? It was a Dell. It was nice. I took it home, and within 5 minutes, I had fucked it. All right. I've never done this and quicker to a laptop. What I did is I opened up. I went straight on the internet and I tried to download iTorrents because I wanted to download movies illegally, but I had no idea it didn't have like protection. So what I did is I also downloaded a major virus that just chewed through my computer within minutes. I had screwed this laptop up, and as all these pages were opening up, my laptop was so sick and it was working. I was like, I don't know what's happening, but suddenly this ad popped up, right? And it was a very convincing looking ad. And it said, this is Microsoft. We've detected an issue with your computer. You have to ring this number right now. Generally, I'd be like, this is a scam, all right? But because my computer was actually sick and dying, my dyslexic brain went, no, this is legit. This is legit. So I rang that number. And of course, the general thing happened. A gentleman, I can't remember his name, but he had an Indian accent. He answered the phone, And let's just call him Tim. He was Tim. Let's call him Tim from now on. And Tim was like, "Hi, how can I help you?" And I went, "Oh, you'll never believe this." But I was on my computer, and this ad popped up saying, "He's from Microsoft." He's like, "Yeah, we're Microsoft." I'm like, "Oh, well, great." And they said, "I have to ring you immediately." And they said, "Yeah." And my instinct was like, "This is a scam." But for whatever reason, my brain was like not following through with it because there was enough evidence to suggest that this was true. And I actually asked him, I said, "Is this a scam?" And he went, "No." And that was enough for my brain to be like, "All right, that's cool, great." And then he said, first thing, you're going to need to give me access to your computer." And I went, "Absolutely, let's do this right now." So like a little box plotter, I put in I said yes, and then he was in. He had control of my computer, right? And he went down, he pressed a button, and all this weird gibberish kind of shot up, and he said, "That's your problem right there." And I was like, "Oh no, that's terrible." But then he opened up another box. He said, "Put your card details in." Right? He said, "I need you to put your card details in this box before we proceed." And I was like, "How much is this going to cost me?" He's like, "Oh, it's pretty sick. Probably about $500. I'm like, "Oh, all right." And then I said, "Why would I get it fixed with you? Why can't I just take my laptop to a computer man and get him to fix it?" And then he said the greatest line in the history of humans. He said, "Because what we're dealing with here is not a computer virus. It's an internet virus. The virus is in your internet. Taking your computer to a computer man won't fix the internet virus." And I was like, "Holy shit. This is serious. Oh my God." I'm like, "An internet virus?" He's like, "Uh-huh." Which is really weird because right at the same time, I was on my girlfriend's laptop on my internet, and there was nothing going wrong with it. And for some reason, my brain didn't make the connection, all right? But I was like, "Oh shit, here are my internet details. My card details." So I put my card details in the box. The whole time in the background, I'm like, "This is a scam. This has to be a scam." But I'm still doing it for some reason. I put all my card numbers, everything in this box. And I found out recently from a friend that what they do is they actually put malware. So they install like spyware on your computer because just giving you the card numbers doesn't really do anything because they need to they have to buy things for that to work. They can't physically take cash out of you. But they when you go on the internet, they can actually see it from there because there's like some sort of spy stuff. Yeah, that's how good I am at the internet. Computers, man. Spy stuff. There's spy stuff there. So then what he said is like, it's going to take a few hours for me to fix it. And I was like, okay. And then I said, "Listen, this is really awkward." I was still talking to this guy on the phone. I'm like, "This is really awkward. You have control over my computer right now." He's like, "Uh-huh." And I said, "I have to see a friend at a stand-up gig. Do you mind if I just leave you doing your thing while I just go out and meet my mate?" And he was like, "Absolutely, that's 100% fine." I was like, "Great, works out." And I hung up the phone. I said, "Well, I'll end the call now. You do what you have to do on the laptop, and I will go and see my friend and just let you do things." So I hung up, and while I got dressed, my bathroom was there. He was probably looking at me through the. I probably walked naked from my thing to get a bathroom and come back out. The whole time, like, this has got to be a scam. Like, I bet he's going to do something sus. So what I did is I walked out my door to leave, and then I kind of crawled back into my room looking at the laptop really slowly. I saw the mouse moving and then stopped, and I just know that we had this moment where we looked at each other through the camera, and then I was just like, "Let's just go see my mate." And I was like, "Have a good one." I waved at the computer and I left. And I got to the gig. It was at Stone's Corner Hotel. And I was talking to my friend, and then my girlfriend turned up. And I was like, "Oh, you'll never believe the afternoon I had." And she was like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, God, I bought the computer, fucked it in 2 seconds, right?" But luckily, Microsoft ad popped up, and this man is fixing my laptop as we speak at home. And she went, "What is that number?" And right before I finished that, I got a phone call I got a phone call from this man. My laptop was so sick that it actually booted him off my server, all right? And he was like, listen, you need to go home and give me access to my computer. And I'm like, dude, this is my password, baby. And I gave him my laptop password over the phone. But my saving grace was my computer was literally that sick that he couldn't access anything, right? And my girlfriend Googled the number that I had been dialing, and she said, this is a scam immediately. And I just went, oh, I knew it. I knew it. And I went home, and luckily enough, my computer had blue screen to death, so nothing was happening. And I rang, I looked at my bank account, no money had been taken. He'd had my card details for 6 hours and no one had bought anything, so I cancelled that account. So I got away with it. Yeah. You know what? So I got lied to, and I believed the lie, but I feel like something in the universe helped me that day. And I guess the take-home message is perspective. Take-home message for perspective is follow your gut instinct. If you think that something is off, 9 times out of 10 something is off, and you should remove yourself from that situation. My name is Chris Martin. Thank you very much.